Hello everyone, this is a meditative transmission. The purpose is to bring solar plexus and on the level of energy body, to bring it into alignment, to balance it, and to invoke healing of your digestive organs, glands, pancreas, liver, to balance your perception of self, the perception of balance, give and take in life. When we have issues with the digestive system, it's a sign that we can't process our karmic experience in a balanced way. And so we start stagnating. We feel overburdened. We start having unhealthy patterns towards the reality, which make us crave for food or desire to fill us in, to fill up our belly. And it's not only on the level of food, it's on all levels. We experience the phenomenon of greed. We just want to hold on to things, to accumulate things, whether it's information, knowledge, practices, spiritual concepts, or it is objects. We attach to places easily. So all these attachments, cravings, accumulation, desire to hold on to something or someone are signs of imbalanced energy center, solar plexus. The solar plexus is not on the physical level. It has a representation on the physical level, but it actually is on the level of your subtle body, energy body. And so when your consciousness starts naturally purging out karmic experience in order for it to be reflected back for the purpose of learning, if you are not able to process it properly, you start having stagnation. You start having false ideas about yourself and the reality. You start pulling in to yourself that reality, identify with that reality. And I'm not saying that there aren't reasons for that. Of course, through our human reality, we can explain it's psychological, it's emotional, it's mental, it's traumatic. The point is that the soul has not developed proper self-identity from the start, from this birth. And so it received a certain experience, the seed of which has already been in its consciousness. And now it is facing the repercussions. And so the distorted perception of self and reality causes the soul to pull whatever it sees, experiences, on whichever level, into itself, whether it's food, whether it's objects, whether it's people, whether it's ideas, circumstances, concepts, or spiritual knowledge, spiritual items, etc. So the person never feels content or satiated. So they constantly need to fill themselves up, to fill that gap, to fill that sort of black hole. And here I'm describing the majority of people. A lot of such people fail to realize that it's not just on the level of food. Even when we speak about digestive system, which is on the physical level, and it represents that sense of self on the physical level, our inability to have moderation, natural sense of equal give and take, or reciprocity in life, or understanding how much energy we are to spend in each situation. And I don't mean calculation, I mean natural, effortless perception of, energy balance within yourself and with the projection. So the person develops imbalanced relationships, imbalanced situations, and imbalanced, attitudes, patterns towards everything, including diet, including spirituality. And the majority of people run into extremes, and it's a sign of imbalanced solar plexus. So before we go into the silent transmission, it's important for you to realize the root causes of that when you reveal to yourself these root causes, when you are honest with yourself, when you look at them with awareness, these root causes, patterns, different imbalanced attitudes, habits, they start dissolving. It's not that easy to dissolve because it's a habit. It has become a habit, but it is possible to dissolve it because once you shone the light of awareness, it starts dissipating. You start recognizing these patterns while dealing with a projected reality with different people, food, spiritual knowledge, etc. So it's about how you handle life from within. And Siddha Tantra is a science of understanding the distribution of energy. Life, energy is life, energy is time. So that life which you are, you learn to balance and master within so that it is transmitted equally through all the centers within your energy body, and so that your hormonal being or your hormones are in balance. And if your hormones are balanced, your physical body will also be balanced. There will be equal distribution of spiritual essence all over the body, which will nurture your cells. There will be equal distribution of hormones to all the organs and systems, and so they will work properly. And again, this is only valid when you have done the groundwork of freeing yourself from parasites or different pathogens. Then this transmission will be the most beneficial. If you haven't done that groundwork and you need assistance, you can always contact me, or you can use whatever other means you have. Make sure that you know what you're doing. Consult the doctor if necessary. Most of the doctors do not see that as a problem. Spiritual doctors, spiritual scientists of the past knew that there's no success in spiritual practices or any kind of spiritual work, whether it's subtle or physical, when the groundwork hasn't been done. And this groundwork means that you've understood the presence of the parasitic energy, pathogens, different kinds of pollutants. And even though in the past they probably were less than now, at this point, the level of pollution on all levels is unprecedented. And so that has to be the primary focus before we, look for energy boosts or some sort of energetic support, because otherwise it won't really do anything. You'll just create more imbalance, because the more you're trying to ascend, the more your own consciousness will bring you down and towards that level which is disturbed. If you have pathogens, parasites, they will be the hosts of all the negative energies within the collective. And so these energies will keep on disturbing you, and you won't be able to succeed in your spiritual work. And we see the army of such people all over the world. They can have their channels, they can be gurus, they can proclaim themselves whoever. They are polluted, ungrounded, unrefined beings who claim themselves to be something that they are not. And only those few beings who realize that can actually realize the path of spiritual evolution within themselves, realize what life is within themselves. They can be reborn to that life with a capital L, and they can master this life throughout their physical vehicle. It's a very tedious process, but it is a possibility. It's possible if you are humble, if you are consistent, and if you're dedicated to this process, you understand the basics and how to proceed with that. Now, once you become detached in a very healthy way, meaning you mastered your energy, you're not pretending to be something that you're not. You're not trying to be peaceful. You're not trying to escape into some sort of oblivion. within yourself, even in the name of spiritual bliss or whatever. But you're very grounded. You understand that it's all about balance. It's not about going up or down. It's about being present on all the levels in a balanced way. So then it means that your solar plexus has healed on the energetic level and you've gained power. Spiritual power is something that can't be, described. It is just there as a presence. And so when you have gained that level, you have enough energy to continue your spiritual evolution in a more intense way. Our solar plexus is connected to our upper glands. So every center, as I spoke about in different transmissions, during different transmissions, I spoke about that. And this knowledge is hidden knowledge. You can't find it in books, and those who try to copy it, if you repeat this knowledge without having realization, it will be your demise. So be very aware of that. If you try to repeat someone's words or try to imitate someone's presence when you are not that, you are pulling yourself in a ditch, in a very, very dark hole. So again, this transmission is for this kind of people who want to be someone they are not. So if you perceive that you are nothing, then dive into that feeling and realize that still, even in the midst of that feeling, there is essence. So rather hold on to that instead of looking outside of self, cultivating jealousy, anger, and envy. Don't waste your energy. Don't feed the projected reality. Look within and cultivate yourself. And then you will heal and transform whatever negative patterns there are in your energy system. And then you will activate your true power. Power cannot be obtained by looking into someone else's garden, by admiring someone else's roses and fruit. Look within, cultivate yourself. You cannot be something you are not. And remember that even if you are nothing, you're still a part of creation, and every element within this creation occupies its right niche. So there is no such a thing as nothing. There is only perception of such. And this perception leads you, or misleads you rather, towards the path of death, the spiritual death. The path of death is jealousy, envy, anger, comparison, judgment, righteousness. And when we embark on these paths, all we experience is a curse, is demise and downfall. We get stuck until we admit our shortcomings and rise up. So the choice is yours. Creation is always there to support you from within. Life is always there, flowing. If you turn your face away from life, you turn your face away from the source of eternal energy. And then, what are you looking for? If you're looking for spiritual evolution, you have to turn your face to life and face it with humility. You have to first turn your face to light and absorb it instead of denying it and looking for limited paradigms to validate yourselves. So hopefully this transmission is clear for everyone and set everything into a right perspective. Now we can focus on the actual transmission. You don't need to do anything. You can, if it's still vibrating with you, if it matches your frequency, you will benefit. Try to relax your face, relax your shoulders, and realize that you're not just a physical body. So the transmission will be affecting your energy body, and the healing will happen on the physical level because the energy body will come into the alignment. You'll feel the reconnection between your solar plexus on the energy level and physical level, reconnected with the higher being, you will feel the invocation of true inner power. It's not your power, it's the cosmic, universal power that exists there at all times. All you can do is just open up to it with humility and absorb its radiation. You'll feel healing on a cellular level, on the levels of your neurons, nerves. This frequency will dissolve the presence of parasitic energy to the degree it's possible in your case. You'll perceive the purification of blood, the purification of your nerves, channels, on the subtle and physical levels. You'll realize that power lies in humility. When you know who you are, you are. When you don't know who you are, you try to stimulate yourself, you try to activate yourself prematurely, but when you are aligned, that activation happens naturally. And your root gets activated because you're mature. Otherwise, if your root is activated prematurely, it will lead you to demise, to delusion, to mental illness. It will reveal all that corruption which will, revealed with such intensity that can disturb the mind and the body. So do not attempt to run ahead the train. Just learn to let go. Learn to step from one moment into the next. And start with a clean slate. If you watch it with true humility, your fears will be dissolved. Your contractions on the level of solar plexus and the physical level and on the energetic level will be dissolved. Within the next months, you will realize the corrupt patterns that kept you congested on that level. The digestive center is just physical center, but it's all connected with our head, with our heart, with our sexual center. Nothing is just on its own. So this transmission will bring all these centers into their alignment. If you had too much energy on this level and lack of energy on other levels, so this transmission will bring it all into balance. The strong fire will subside, or the energy will redistribute along the entire body equally. And you will experience balance and contentment. You can watch this healing maximum once a week or once a month. When your solar plexus is imbalanced, you tend to draw attention towards yourself in a very imbalanced way, egotistical, etc. You're self-serving. Now, when the energy is properly redistributed, you feel content, you feel like you are a part of existence. You're no longer trying to prove yourself. You feel love. You feel connection with yourself. You feel self-love and love towards others. Selfless, unconditional love. You're generous in life. The energy of greed is very contagious and very self-harming. And greed is not just about not giving material stuff, it's about holding information. You see, we kind of have very obscure knowledge about this. When we hold information, we think it affects our throat center. It does, but the reason is here. On the energy level, on the subtle level, it is the inability to let go. It's desire to hold and accumulate and just restrain or suppress. And so we block our upper centers. We focus on the mundane. And so we do not receive that grace, that powerful radiation from above. And our lower centers, energy centers, start stagnating because the connection with a higher source is blocked. Now, when we reconnect with the higher source, we feel nurtured. It's like if we were reconnected back to our true parents, true home, we receive that type of radiation, vibration, which nurtures our mundane existence and makes it feel like joy, makes it blissful. And when you are content, you don't have that desire, as I said, to pull the matter into yourself, even if this matter is subtle matter like concepts, ideas. You're not ambitious about anything, including spirituality. Because if you're still ambitious, you can't get this knowledge, no matter how much you want. Because it is the vibration, the frequency of surrender that allows you to experience inner knowledge. It is not the effort, but the effortless being, the humility, the surrender that allows you to evolve, to tap into higher spheres of knowledge and being. Because if you're ambitious, you're constricted. You're constricted by your own ambitions. You're enslaved. You want some limited techniques and knowledge. As I said and repeated 100 times, everything is false in this world. Most of the concepts and ideas are limited, obscure, degraded, based on hearsay, not complete. And by following all these remnants without tapping in or having tapped into your own power, without having reconnected with the source, all these become your dead ends or the paths to self-demise, to destruction of your spiritual essence. So stop, focus within, reconnect, and perceive the true being. We don't need to accumulate something prematurely. It will all come in the right time to you effortlessly. If your soul is pure, the level of your vibration will be so pure that you will draw the attention of higher powers within this creation. If you are a wannabe, a copycat, someone who just wants a tag, a title, you are on the path of self-destruction and you can still stop. But mostly you cannot, because it's a program. If there is no connection with a high awareness and the power of the darkness takes over, the person, even though they know somehow, they still keep on walking blindly towards the end of the cliff and fall. So when our solar plexus is obstructed, we want to believe in falsehood. We want to believe in falsehood because it defines the meaning. It gives us the sense of self, the validation. Without having that bigger picture of our existence. We are subtle beings. And when we place all the emphasis, all the importance on the mundane reality with the purpose of validating ourselves, empowering ourselves, or feeling powerful because of what we have or what we acquired, we are but fools. And our solar plexus, that center of power on the physical level and that center of power on the energetic level, are stagnant. They're never satisfied. There's always discontent. This center blocks our ability to experience unconditional love. And only when we are experiencing unconditional love, we can say that we've laid that foundation to receive higher forms of knowledge, be really kind of open now to the spiritual realm, and kind of get a chance to learn and evolve. Most of the people are not capable of that. The frequency of unconditional love is so powerful and so rare. Some people may experience it in glimpses, but they're not established in it. So when you transmuted the energy of the solar plexus, you perceive just unconditional love and connection. There's no such frequency as jealousy, envy, comparison, anger towards anyone or anything within you. But your presence is very potent. Your presence itself is intelligent, it's protective, and it doesn't allow low frequency near you. And yet you're humble at your essence. Only then you can experience true knowledge. You can actually recognize true knowledge without any extra support. You can see beyond the veil. You can see beyond the physical appearance, because the truth has been invoked. You can recognize it. Until then, even if you've reconnected with the higher source, but you're still muddling on the lower levels within your energy body, meaning you're neutralizing your parasitic energies, you're, knowing something intellectually, but it's not in alignment. You are fooling yourself. You cannot even imagine what it is to be a spiritual being, a light being. All you know is that your mind is ambitious. All you know is that your mind wants to know. It wants to suck everything into it. It wants to visit all the gurus, wants to know all the secret knowledge. It's thirsty, but it's never satiated. This is the sign of an unrefined, self-serving, and limited self that leads the majority to the ditch, to the spiritual demise, to the spiritual death. And in order to awake to immortality, to life with a capital L, in order to awaken to that, we need to realize this. We need to become life. When you are the vessel of life, it means you've neutralized the sources of death. The presence of the parasitic energy on the physical level and on the spiritual level are the signs that you have not overcome or crossed the ocean of illusion. You still have access to the collective darkness. So why to pretend like you're something else? Why not to turn within and work tediously? See, it sounds very easy. It's difficult to do. So hopefully this transmission raised some awareness and brought some clarity to mature souls, because it is only the mature souls that can respond to clarity. The immature souls respond with that which they are. which they carry within them, the seed of unrefined selves. Be blessed, be protected, thank you, be healed, and experience the dissolution of negative patterns on the level of your center of power. Realize the power lies within you, yet not on that level that you might think today. Because when we are on the level of egoic self, we think that power is something we are gonna pull into ourselves. But when you are power, all you do is radiate. The sun is the most powerful star in our system, right? Our system is called solar system, but the sun is not pulling anything into itself. It's not a black hole. It radiates, it shines effortlessly because it is that. It is its essence. So if you want power, become power, open to life. Life doesn't demand anything, it flows unconditionally, selflessly. You can use the word selfless. You can repeat what life beings say, but you can never be that unless you transform that egoic, competitive, limited, self-serving sense of self. And this transmission will shatter that which is of that egoic nature. And those souls who are ready, they'll shed tears. They'll burst into tears because they'll realize that creation is so humble yet is so powerful. It radiates power behind the scenes. And this is the true power, the power of humility, not the power of exhibition, not the power of anger or comparison, but the power of being, the power of truth that reveals the falsehood. And by revealing it, it heals this falsehood. It transforms this whole falsehood. It dissolves this falsehood into the light. No falsehood stands before the truth. No darkness exists before the light. They dissolve. They're shattered and transformed. Because they always were a part of that high existence, even in their shadow form. Thank you very much. You may have water after this transmission. Lie down for 5-10 minutes to relax, to allow healing energy to redistribute in the body properly. Be blessed, be protected. Stay aware.